Welcome to JiggeeJonTV. I am your host, Jiggee Jon. As you can see, I've upped my game. I've got my home studio down tight. I got my headset. My audio is macking. All right. The acoustics are a whole lot better, and we're working. We're getting there. Lockdown has made us more productive. Now, that's the beauty of staying home, staying safe, and upskilling yourselves. Today, we have a lockdown guest on the Jiggee Jon show, a man who needs no introduction if you're here in Malaysia. But nonetheless, I am going to introduce him and bring him on the show. Folks, it is Prem, known as Premosupremo from the Mix FM breakfast show of Aisha, Rod, and Prem. And he is grinning on the other side. And we don't just have a show of you because we're going to have the Tannis and the Kudis and the Kupes are all coming out. And welcoming on the show is Premosupremo! What up, what up, what up?
I love the intro, lah, Maja.
You heard it, huh? Okay, on.
Massive WWE intro.
No, because you're my first guest with this full gear. Now I'm rocking and
Oh,
loaded.
yeah. I've been following your Instagram. I saw when I saw the mic, like, son, Maja upped his game, lah.
On.
Two things you look like a pilot, number one. Number two, like one massive gamer trying to kill some fellas, lah.
Yeah, lah, they working on that, lah. So, how you doing, man? Now let's start off with, hey.
Cheers.
Welcome to the Jiggee Jon show.
Thank you for having me on. I've seen your
Thank you.
guests. I was wondering when is my turn, but I'm here finally. Thank you.
Listen, don't pretend. I already asked you.
Yeah, it was hard for me, honestly. Yeah, I have to apologize because it's hard for me because my sleeping pattern now obviously is a bit different. But I sleep really early, so I'm in bed, and I'm not kidding you. Don't laugh at this, huh? I'm in bed by 9:30 latest.
You know, dude, the last time I went to bed at 9:30, I think I was 12.
There you go.
Because up until high school, 8:30 sharp, I'll go to bed.
Exactly. You see, so that's because I have to wake up at 4. My first alarm starts ringing at 4, and then I snooze till about 4:30. But after that, it's late already, lah. So that's why. And obviously, this is BC, lah, bro, before Corona, lah.
Correct. So
Yeah.
it's. I mean, how long have you conditioned yourself to wake up in the sleeping patterns, dude? How long has it been? 10 years?
Yeah, you know what? About 10 years, give and take, lah. But it still doesn't help, bro, because you and we are creatures of the nocturnal times. You know,
Of course.
we like nightlife. I've always been a nightlife, lah, and I was a DJ as well prior
Correct.
to hanging up my headphones, literally. So I used to DJ in the clubs as well. So I think until it took a toll on me and my health, you know, we're not getting younger, let's be honest. So after it started taking a toll on my health, I said, you know what, I got to slow down, and I started practicing sleeping early. But it's still difficult. I must say, it's still difficult. I still struggle to wake up. But
Yep.
yeah.
All right, man. So, thanks for being on the show, because so far it's been an interesting journey of just featuring people who've got a story. Because you are a personality, but I want to get behind all of that to just find out who is Prem.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think with all that's going on in the air around us, I made it a point to remind myself to count my blessings and to always remind myself that to be grateful for all that we have. From as early as I remember meeting you, which was the days of cruise. Actually, well, I met you thanks to Philip, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Correct. You know, so
Correct.
that journey is a good 15-year journey that I've witnessed, possibly. 15, 16 years. But before that, I don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
So I think, it'll be good to just delve into as much as you're willing to let loose, online. Like, and the beauty of this channel and this platform is you can say what you want. I will ask whether you answer is a different story.
I will just pull the whole no comment. Tiada comment.
The point is just to find out, who Prem is and all of that.
Make it personal, man. I like it.
For sure. Now, how did this even begin? Let's talk about your career in show business, and then you can talk to me about other things that you've done.
Okay. In show business, how I actually started is by emceeing. So I used to study in help back in the day. And even in school, actually, given I was always the noisy fellow in the class. And when it was Parents' Teachers' Day, my teacher had nothing to say except, this fellow cannot stop talking. So talking has always been part of my life, as you can tell.
Yeah.
So even in school, I was always on stage plays. I was in drama class and all that. But it was when I went to uni that I accidentally started emceeing. I think it was
Yeah, what year was that?
Oh man, dude, na- slightly after 2000, maybe 2004, 205, maybe around there. I was in help.
I wasn't help, but obviously,
Yes,
given
yeah,
our
our
age
age
difference,
difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But you remember, if you were in help, then you would remember that help used to organize this French music festival called Fête de la Musique.
of course,
There you
yes,
go. Yeah.
I've attended it.
Yes. So that's where I started emceeing. I started on a small stage because I
Wow.
was part of the one of the KL. We had it in KL in the small streets, and
Yes,
then
yes, yes.
yeah, and then someone saw me, and the year after that, I was on the main stage of
Okay,
Fedela Music,
right,
and then suddenly I was Help's official MC. So I did every other faculty's prom. I was the
right,
MC.
right.
Um, so while I was in Help,
Yep.
I also came across the Hits Cruises. So
Right,
a
right,
friend told me that, hey, you can talk and you're the flirt, the life of the party. Why don't you put your money where your mouth is, lah? Talk and get some money. I'm like, oh, why not? So
right.
I tried out with the cruises. This was definitely '05, '04,
Okay,
'05.
okay.
And that's when I started studying part time and I joined the cruises because the cruises was a part time thing. So then it became a little more serious.
Okay.
But the guy who actually helped me out was my partner on stage. I don't know if you know him. He was known as Junior on radio, Jairam
Yes,
otherwise.
of course, of course.
So
Yes.
Jairam and I were friends, and we were actually MC partners on for Fat de la Music, and then we even worked the cruises together. But Jairam had already had experience on air. By that
Mm,
time, he had already experienced.
okay.
So what happened is, then I was given a chance by one of my mentors and
Mm,
ex bosses, Datuk Jake Abdullah. He
mm,
said, do you want to go on air at that point? And I'm like, wow, is this really coming from you, Jake? He's like, yeah, I heard you, but you can only get to do the weekends. So I'm like,
mm.
whatever, man. At this
Yeah,
point, to
yeah.
work for Malaysia's number one radio station.
Of course, of course.
So yeah, I went on the weekend show
Mm.
and I was on with Jeram, and Jeram was training me. Yeah.
Mm. What year was this?
Uh, Again, between oh 04, oh 05, oh 06,
Okay.
just 2 years. So I was with the Hits Cruisers for 2 years.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
want to rewind back, just something I've never told anybody, even in interviews. But since this is a very personal story and this will touch your heart, hopefully,
Ah, ah.
when after I left school, slightly after that, already in college,
Yep.
trying to look for money.
Yep.
Guess what job I tried to take and it didn't work out. I actually wanted to become a clown.
I knew that was coming. There's no other reason why you'll tell me this, because obviously it resonates well with me. Oh
Yeah. So
wow,
yeah, so I
wow.
actually went, I learned the balloon sculpting and all.
From who? Who taught you?
I cannot remember his name, but he had a home studio Denla. This is we're talking back then in PJ, Kampong Tunku side. Lobo, was
No,
that
but
Lobo?
Yeah, Lobos was my boss, but they never were in Kampong Tungku, dude.
Was it PJ SS3?
No, they were in section 7 next to the Balai in in PJ, a house near the PJ Balai.
Okay, maybe I'm getting that area wrong, but if I remember Lobo's clowns.
Okay,
Adrian.
no, Arnold.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, I remember that's how I wanted to, so I learned the sculpture and all. But you know why I didn't make it, bro?
Ah.
Because I said to be a clown you have to shave, right?
Ah.
And I didn't
You
want to. I
and
didn't
you
want
had
to shave.
facial hair then. You
I had
already had.
facial hair. I already had hair lah, but that time to have
Ah.
goatee or gempa, right? Oh, gempa.
Dude, and one of the reasons why I sat on the fence when I was 18, 19, because at that point, starting to grow lah.
Mm.
And same thing lah. The whole being in college and facial hair means your maturity and all that. You
Exactly.
know, look, in school people used to take the black pen and color in the tadi lah.
The chilat they use for the eyes
Yeah,
and all. Yeah.
correct.
So that's one thing I didn't get into. But anyway, so after that, I
Mm.
also this is a story I've said before though. I went on to selling phone cards on the street. Do you
Juice,
remember?
juice.
Yes, Juice by You and all those.
Join us in creating excitement.
Yes.
The 8
But
steps to success.
do you remember Time Goal
Yes,
by Adam, the company?
of course.
Yeah, I went on the streets. I sold phone cards. So That taught me life lessons though. That was very good because there was a lot of rejection. When you get rejected, you walk near people and go, "Hey, excuse me, like you're kind of you got COVID-19 back then. Like, don't come near me."
So funny story. Not to please hold your thought. The only reason I know what you're saying because I did the same job, but just not in Malaysia.
Right.
I was in Detroit.
Okay. Okay.
And I was doing that. I was pushing Domino's Pizza books, Kmart Mastercards, and gas companies, and same thing. And at that point, it was the height of 9/11. The woman called the cops. There's an Arab on my doorstep.
Oh shit.
So yeah, it's the same company, but just it was global at that point. But in Malaysia was Granton Marketing, Epco. I'm not sure which one you work for.
Cool.
There you go. I know the whole business day.
There you go. You see?
We have that back. So the thick skin, that one is thick skin at the next level.
Yes, that teaches
Next
you
level.
it teaches you thick skin to actually have what we have now, because when we go on stage and when people
Rejection.
heckle
Yeah.
us or whatever,
Correct.
dude, really, you want to heckle me of all people, dude?
Yeah. Like I mean, yeah lah. Only acid can probably burn through that lah. Yeah.
Even my mother used to say you got thick skin. I'm like, yep, mom, I do have thick skin.
Mm.
So after that, yeah. So basically, that's what happened. So I was in the cruises for 2 years.
Yep.
After which, Fly FM opened up
That's correct.
for about a year plus.
Yep.
And this next career jump of mine to Fly FM, which is Media Prima, I owe it to Fat Fabes, because Fat Fabes had left Hits after a legacy, by the way. Fabes was the household name for all of us.
Of course.
And he left to join Ben in the breakfast show on Fly.
Yes.
So at that time, after 1 year of Fly FM being in business,
Yep.
their night show, something happened and they were looking for a DJ.
Mm.
So Fabes suggested my name.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, wow, thanks, man. And someone called me. I went for an interview, and basically they gave me the deal there and then and said, look, we want you to come on board. It's not going to be much salary, but do you want the night show? I'm like, a permanent gig? Why not, man?
Yeah.
And I jumped on board. I resigned from Astro Radio in about 24 hours because I was a cruiser, a part-timer, so you are allowed to do that. So I left in 24 hours and joined Fly FM. And
This is 2007, bro.
Yes, exact. Right date, right there. So 07 is when I joined Media Prima.
And Fly FM was brand new then, right?
About 1.5 years old already. About
Okay,
one and a half years old. It was the first radio station in the world to be in an airport.
Yeah.
And Malaysian airports leveraged on that to be the first airport in the world to have a radio station.
Yep. That I get. But when did you start DJing?
As in the clubs.
Yes. How did that happen?
Oh, okay. So while I was in Fly FM, I used to, I think I was doing by that time I was already doing the drive show in the evening.
Okay.
So which means my shift would end at about 8. And that time still young blood. So after finish 8, and I was already on the quickie at that time. I was a TV host as well.
Yes. Now that you mentioned that, that's right.
So,
yes.
2 years on being on either 1 or 2 years after being at Fly, I then became a TV host because same company. I went for the audition, I got the job. So the 8 TV quickie would end at midnight, 11:30, 11:45. And after that, Ichi Bag said, I don't want to go back. So I used to go to Sanctuary. You remember Sanctuary, the club at the Curve?
Oh my. Yes. Yes.
Siswanto, one of Siswanto's.
And then later Laundry and all
Laundry,
that. Yes.
Laundry and Sanctuary. But Laundry is already. Sanctuary, I think, opened a bit later. I used to go to Sanctuary to watch Double D play.
Made sense because Media Prima was just down the road.
Nearby. And Double D was a friend. So go there, lepak with him. At least got someone to talk to. So when I used to watch him play, I got very interested in how you are a DJ has the ability to make people dance.
Yep.
It's just amazing to see, and to watch Vimal, I call him Vimal, of course, in action, and to see him play and to be able to let people dance. Is this power that you have is so amazing, and people smiling and dancing, and you are a factor to make people happy.
Yep.
So I just asked him one day, I said, hey, can I start playing with you? But I actually started, when I saw that, my then radio partner and I, Jules, we started going for classes. Hey, Jules, I said, why don't we become a DJ duo? Let's just go and learn. So we actually went to a school in Bukit Bintang. I think you know him, DJ Lo Suntiam. DJ Low.
The name sounds familiar, but Suntiam. Okay,
So
Alfred Low. Is it Alfred
no,
Low?
no, no, not Alfred Low. Alfred Low.
Okay,
Hello, Cynthia, another guy.
okay.
So DJ Low, I went to BB Plaza and started learning on vinyls.
Oh wow,
Yeah, so I got the full 9 years
wow,
of learning.
wow. And this
So
was what 27, oh 07 as well? No, oh
about
08.
07, 08 already, about that. So
Wow.
I learned with him. Took about a 6 months course, learned how to do basic mixing.
Uh,
But even he said you cannot just be here. You need to go and start looking for gigs.
mm,
So I
mm.
didn't have places to go. So I obviously I was close to Double D. So I told Double D, hey, maybe one day when your partner is not well or you are
Yep,
looking for, can I just learn? I can start
yep.
by being your hype man first.
Right, right.
So Vimal said, come over. And so this part of my life, I owe it to DJ Double D lah. He took me with him and we became partners. And I
I
also
never
got
knew this.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
You remember Kenny Kubendran who used
Of
to run?
course, of
So
course.
Kenny had then that time Mist had opened up,
That's
and
right.
Mist had acquired Kenny services. So Kenny obviously called Double D, and Double D called me and said, "Hey, you want to start playing?" I'm like, "Why not?" So when Double D and I started playing at Mist Club.
Here's a funny story. Do you know I was in that building next to y'all for 6 years, and my office was in Menara Mutiara Bangsa.
Oh,
My
okay,
very
okay.
first Jiggee office was there,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah,
used
yeah,
to work late till midnight or sometimes 2, 3 in the morning. And
yeah,
I'll drive by when you guys are going hard, but
yeah.
because I was already tired,
I
and I don't think I knew at that point whether y'all were there or not or
yeah,
whatnot. I
yeah.
just never made it a point to,
To go
I mean,
in.
go in. But I was there working late upstairs, just above y'all.
But here's a story, bro, about perseverance. When Bimal and I started playing,
Yeah,
uh, you know how big Mist is, right? It could fit 600 to 700 people.
yeah, yep, 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 yep.
We used to DJ for 10 people, bro. It was those kind of days, and there are days where you wanted to give up and just hang up and said, "This is not for us." It's
Yeah,
embarrassing
yeah, yeah,
because you
yeah.
have the staff looking at us, and you can tell when the staff is bored when they're doing that.
Correct,
And when
correct.
they clean the table about 10 times, they've got nothing to clean. Even the ashtray is sparkling. But I swear, bro, this is a life lesson not to give up. You just keep believing, right? You believe in
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
When we closed Miss Club, when Miss Club decided to close down, we
yeah.
were packing a night of 700 people every weekend.
I remember that, man.
Yeah,
I actually, I did come towards the end, the glory days, and I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
the lines were crazy, and
Mm-hmm.
it might have been Kenny as well. The typical
No,
guest list.
Kenny had left already. He left after a while.
I don't know if the guest list was you helped me hook me up or whatever, somebody lah, but it was one of you boys
Yeah,
who, I was bringing some friends from overseas, and at that point, Mist was pumping lah,
yeah,
and it's heyday.
yeah. The heydays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember who got me on the. Yeah, anyways, but yeah, I remember that. And I did a sweet 16 birthday in there, on a Tuesday night.
Yes, yes. I
A
think.
horror night. I did a horror night. I turned
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole place into a rumah hantu.
Nice. So yeah, lah, bro. That was it. That's how I got into DJing, and then
So DJing, when you finally retired, was what, 2 years ago?
possibly about 2 3 years ago. Oh, no, 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 no. Last was my last gig. Last was my last. See what I did there?
So you only played about 7 years, 8 years? Not
Yeah,
even.
about 7 8 years because we were in Miss for about 5 years.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I would never have known that you had only been DJing because I didn't know that about you, right? I didn't know
Yeah.
that you only started. I would have assumed that you've been doing that first and then you went down
Oh
that route.
no. It was radio first, and then just the love for music and love to see people
Of
dance.
course, of course.
Yeah.
So where did Premosupremo come from? How did that come about?
It's just a name that I was looking, and I never wanted to have, DJ in front. Like
Right.
everybody was a DJ something, DJ this, DJ that. So I just
Yep.
wanted to brand myself as a brand
Okay.
that could go across the board, whether it
Okay.
was an MC or
Yep.
and I have a common name. So
True.
if I were to, if you, for example, were to hire me or sell me to a client, they
Mm,
can go, which Prem? But if you go like
mm.
Premosupremo, they go like, oh, of course, yeah, we know the fella.
Okay.
It came actually, you remember that cartoon Timo Supremo?
I'm not much of a cartoon fella, but okay.
Yeah, there's a
I
cartoon.
thought it was Supreme, like the brand Supreme, and that.
That was it first. That was it first. Supreme became Supremo, became Premosupremo.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
How cool is that, huh? And
Yeah.
so now, I mean, so do you actually use that as a brand, or is this more of an identity that
It's
people?
it associates, so
Yeah,
it's sort of brand association.
I
I don't
understand.
I don't it's like how you are known as Jiggy.
Yeah,
So the Jiggy is a brand association
correct,
with Jonathan Sivaratnam. So
correct.
Premosupremo is just an association with
Yeah,
me.
I understand.
Yeah.
So now let's go a little deeper. I mean, that so you've given me such a interesting synopsis of, which is quite ironic because in such a short span of time, your entertainment career has just been
It
quite,
boomed.
yeah, quite, and many things happening.
Yeah, yeah.
So what has been the highlight, like, dude? Because in what I guess it's a 15-year run, lah, plus minus 15,
This
16 year
year
run.
would be 15, 16. You're about right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so what has been the highlights, man? Whether you want to talk about career, you want to talk about personal. I mean, there's so many things that you've brought up here, but to you personally, what has really impacted you, man?
This is one question, Jiggy, that I find so difficult to answer. But there's so because I've been blessed. Like you said at the start of this chat we're having, we have been blessed, and now we return. I've been blessed to be have such good peers around me who have helped me elevate in this career. Like I said, there was Jake, my ex bosses, Howard, Double D, J Ram. I mean, and the list can go on and on for the people I thank. Right. Um, so some of the highlights have been able to help, being able to educate people, and sometimes maybe I've able to put a job, give someone a job, a rice bowl. Uh, that itself for me is a blessing.
Mm,
But in terms of career highlights, I guess
yeah.
is to achieve where I am right now,
Mm,
to be sitting on Malaysia's number 2 breakfast show,
yep.
with a listenership of more than 500,000 every morning. I guess that's one of my achievements, which again, a lot of sacrifice and hard work.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
career wise, the other biggest achievement is I acted in a movie on the silver screen.
That's right.
So that was a big achievement for me as well, and
Yep.
to act in a Chinese movie supporting role.
Right.
I was like, wow, that's something big as well.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I mean, some of the crazy things that I've done on air is just for entertainment is silly, but the nice things Jules and I, my former partner, actually, we got a couple married on air before. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I don't know if you remember during my Fly FM days, we had this thing called Flirty at 9:30.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So this couple, this guy, obviously was not confident, and we were the cupids lah.
Yeah, of course.
They were from Ipoh. So this guy sent in the entry. We did the whole
Mm,
hookup. One
mm,
year later, they got married lah, and they came all the way from Ipoh. Took a bus. This was during the Fly FM birthday bash in One
mm, mm,
Utama.
mm.
They got past security. They said, "We really need to see Prem and Jules." Security had to come get us. Someone wants to see you urgently, and there was this guy stood there. Hello, Mr. Prem. You remember last year you flirting 9:30? Yeah, this is my wife. I'm like, what? Your wife? No way.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
dude.
wow, wow. It's funny that you mentioned Jules and twice now. Do you know where
Uh-huh.
she is today?
I do know.
And do you know that recently she was my supplier in Langkawi for my event? So,
I would have expected that actually.
so I was involved in Aloft Langkawi's anniversary event, and
Yeah,
I bump into her, and I'm like, "Okay, what the hell are you doing here?" She's like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
no, this is my kampong." Huh?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then we did a quick catch up, and then I had this my last big event of the year before everything has now shut down in January. I
yeah.
was there for a whole week for Royal Canin, the pet
I
food
saw that
company,
one. I saw that one.
and she assisted me with a whole bunch of stuff there. Uh,
Oh,
and so it's quite interesting how she's rebranded herself, or just
rebranded.
recreated herself,
Yeah.
and
So she's always been that girl who wanted to retire on an island. So I guess she's
mm,
living her dream. God bless her. I mean, she's one of my best radio partners. We had the best times on radio. I got
I
to
mean,
give.
I admire her grit, no Prem, because for her to walk away from showbiz, or even the lifestyle that we still live,
Yeah,
and to take that step and do that, I mean, I really I admire that lah.
yeah,
I mean, she's doing what I'm doing, but in a much slower pace.
yes,
Without, I think, without the stress that comes with just being in KL and doing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I stand
In fact,
corrected, but
before Langkawi, she was living in Sabah, so you can tell that the whole laid back lifestyle. So she moved
wow.
from Sabah straight to Langkawi. She just couldn't leave the island life after that.
I need to interview her. Like, how do you go from morning radio, like that high, I mean, that lifestyle, to
You
slower
should
pace?
actually. That's a great story. You should get her on the show.
I don't know if she'll talk though. I mean, I'll try. I'll
You,
try.
she cannot stop talking.
No, no, no. As to whether she would want to come out and share her story. I mean, I'll try. I'll try.
Well,
I'll try.
if you need convincing, call me. I'll tell her
No,
to
I
do it.
mean, we're good friends now, right? But it's interesting that it'll be nice to now talk to her right after I talk to you, like get her next,
Exactly.
It'll be quite a interesting story to hear
I'll
how
PM
someone.
Tepi you her number, or maybe you
No,
do
no,
already.
hey, Macha, I have everything here.
There you go. There you go.
No, what I'm saying is it's quite ironic because you're still doing it, and she made that active, that whole stepping away from the limelight and all
Yeah.
that. So that's quite
Yeah.
cool.
Moving
Um,
on. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, anyways, what else can I say about? I mean, do you have any peeves that, as a radio personality per se, like, I mean, what are the peeves that, I mean, are you allowed to even say this without it affecting what you're allowed to say? I mean, are you allowed to say what is a peeve and some of the do's and don'ts that you would? I'm putting you in a
I'm
tight
gonna,
spot
yeah,
here.
I know, no, but I'm also trying to tell you the difficult times I face. Um, you see, many people, they come to me sometimes and
Yeah,
they say, and this is a reality. I'm just gonna say it out there, right?
yeah,
Oh, Mix doesn't support local music.
yep,
Guys don't play any local music, which
yep.
is the truth. I'm gonna admit it right here.
Mm,
Now, the reason behind this is because of the audience itself. It's not something that we control.
yep.
Uh, the radio station is run by research. And
Mm,
when we tell people, if you really want a song, you
mm,
need to make it known that you want the song.
mm.
So you can't just complain on Facebook
Yeah.
or Instagram or social media, oh, local radio stations don't play enough local music. Because
Mm,
here's the honest truth. Us Malaysians don't even support our local bands
yep,
enough,
yep,
right? If
yep.
I would only probably support you, Jiggee, if you had
Mm.
a band because you're my friend. Okay, yeah, support Jiggee. But what about the 10 other Jiggies out there that have a
Yeah,
band?
yeah, yep, yep.
So this is the truth, and I'm going to say it. So radio stations run by research. We actually have a team doing research on what Malaysians like to hear on radio. And
Right.
for fuck's sake, yes, I'm cursing. The top 10 list that always comes out is international. Taylor Swift,
Mm,
Billie Eilish, your auntie, my auntie, everybody's
mm,
auntie. That's the truth.
mm, mm,
It's very rare that someone would say $1 shot. It's
mm.
very rare someone's going to say, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
And so when the Malaysian artists reach out to me and go like, "Oh, bro," I tell them honestly.
Mm,
I mean, recently, MC Size reached out to me. Great friend of mine. We've been
yep.
friends for a long time. I told Size, bro,
Mm,
I would recommend you to go to the other radio stations
yep.
that actually even have a Malaysian show, for example, like Hits has the Met 10.
Yep.
Macha, pump it there, pump it to other radio stations, because it's going to be tough for me to get it on Mix.
Yep.
I can do that. I can take, if it's a physical CD, I can take that CD and pass it to my music director, or I can forward the link to my music director. But he will put it through a test.
Yep.
And if the test comes out, people saying negative,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen.
Yep. Now, I want to put you in the hot seat.
Let's go.
No, lad, it's not as hot as you think it. So you've done a few things. Which ranks the number one for you with regards to, from the heart, passion? You just love it. Is it going to be emceeing, radio personality, radio announcing, DJing? Because every one of them has a different psyche,
Yeah.
and I know a little bit about that as well.
Yeah.
And what else? I mean, acting. I guess since you've experienced it, maybe
Yeah.
that would have been a big high for you.
Yeah.
That's 4 things. What else have you done or still do? Yeah. So
TV.
yeah, you've done TV as well. So
Yeah.
5. So 5. Anything else? 5.
Yeah.
Of which now only 2 you do actively lah, which is
Yeah.
radio and emceeing.
Yes.
So you've done 5 things.
Yeah.
2 you're still doing.
Yeah.
Which ranks first place for you?
Number one by the heart, and I've said this before. If I want to die, I want to die on radio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I've told my
Wow.
bosses this, and I said, "Hey, man, if ever you want to fire me, go ahead, fire me, take me off air, but just please give me something to do behind the scenes with radio.
Interesting.
Yeah, let me be. I don't know. Let me even press the buttons if you must, like press the buttons for the DJs. I would do it because content creation, man, it
Mm,
has no boundaries. And unlike TV, TV you have producers telling you what to do.
right.
Yes, sometimes you, as a talent, you can give your feedback and your
Mm,
ideas, but ultimately it's the EP or the producer that tells you, I want the show to run like this, right?
yep.
But on radio, bro, it's all me. It's all me. Unless,
Yep.
of course, I'm Ryan Seacrest lah. But I don't have a writer. But everything
Yep.
that content on, ever since I started radio, whether it's
Mm,
hits, fly, or mix, it's all
yep.
me, bro. As in not just me, of course, my team. Whether it
Yep.
was Jules, now it's Aisha and Rod,
Yep.
but it's all us. So it's a lot of heart, soul, tears, blood,
Yep.
whatever you want to call it.
S- What's number two then? So
Number two
radio
would
is
be emceeing.
I
Yeah.
actually thought that was been first, because I know you do it as much, and I know you enjoy it.
I
So
love it. I love it. But it's as much as I can create content,
yeah,
but emceeing, I can't control the content because we feed off the crowd.
yeah,
We
yeah,
do the
yeah, yeah. No,
MC.
no. Of course, of
Yeah,
course.
as much as we can create, but we create only during that few moments, like creating a game on stage or
Yeah,
creating that piece of comedy during that presentation of the awards or whatsoever.
yeah,
But on radio, I've got a full 4 hours, 24/7 to throw out my ideas.
yeah.
Yeah,
So studies have shown that everybody's got a public life, a private life, and a secret life. Okay.
really. Don't tell anyone.
Supposing,
Okay, I'm Batman. Don't tell anyone.
yeah. So the thing is, you are very much your life is
Mm,
rather public,
mm,
and you also keep it public to
yep,
some extent.
yep.
So how much of really what you do on a daily basis is really really public, and how much of it is private? And are you the same person both in either in either mode that you are in? Let's put it that way.
Macha, I'm gonna let you answer this because you know me, but
Mm,
I am who I am, and you know this for a fact. I say it as it is.
yeah.
Who I am on Instagram, who I am on Facebook, who I am right here on this interview, and even in real life, that's just me. I
Mm,
talk the same shit. I say the same shit. I will say it bluntly if I have to say it.
mm.
Um, yeah, I don't think I'm any different. No, I don't have like a persona that I carry on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
just put it that way. Prem is Prem. There's no Premosupremo lah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I mean, so you keep it real. Nothing. You don't have a filter per se. Like I mean, you filter within making sure that
The
you.
language, because I know I have young followers, but if I have to
Correct.
curse, I will really go for it lah.
No, that I get. Okay, so I guess what you're trying to say is you are who you are, and if somebody were to catch you, um, on the streets, and they're like, "Oh, but I always thought that's who you are because your radio show lets me think that that's who you are,"
Yeah.
they would probably find that, he's the same
Yes.
fella lah.
I've got that many times as well. Oh, you're actually not putting up anything. I'm like, no, there's no reason for me to put up anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, cool. Okay, so that actually is a great summarization, because what would your advice be then to those who want to get into media across the board, given the fact that you've at least worn five different hats? What's your take on that? What do you have to say to the next gen of guys who are incoming girls, or even those who are already there and
Or
working
maybe
very
want
hard?
to get in the emceeing scene as well, right?
Anything, Holmes?
Yeah. Macha,
Yep,
people were like, wow. We all comes in different sizes. Maybe
yep.
one day they may say, oh, I want a tall MC. Okay, go for Jiggee Jon. Oh, I want a short, dark MC. Okay, go for Prem.
Hey, I've never heard anyone request for that, but yeah,
But
uh, great analogy, which that is not true. Okay, nobody books an MC based on
no, no,
their.
I'm just saying lah. But you get what I'm trying to say.
Can you imagine a poor fellow who's short then will try and lengthen his legs, just to
Ah,
because of what Prem said.
so don't lengthen yourself. Be yourself because one day you're gonna get the gig and be yourself on stage.
Don't talk about Gobinath like that, lah. Poor short fella. That's why he gave up MCing because of
I
people like
know,
you.
Gobi, I love you. This is John saying it. Fuck him.
Okay, coming back to okay, so I guess being yourself, but I mean, besides that, is there anything else that you would just tell them on what it would take to get into media as we know it, media, entertainment, showbiz?
Um, times have changed. It's a
Mm,
lot, honestly, Macha, it's a lot easier to get into media now, because back when we were growing up, there was only radio and TV
sure,
and the newspapers, but that's
of
obsolete.
course,
Newspapers is gone, lah.
of course, of course.
Now you've got Instagram, Facebook. Someone is an Instagram star nowadays. Influencers, KOLs, whatever you want to call them.
Yep,
Everyone's a star in their own way. That's already media
yep.
for now. So confidence, have that confidence. It's very important, but
Mm.
don't be cocky. That's two different things.
Mm.
You can be confident, but you don't want to be a cocky person. Yes, you may have 800,000 followers,
Yep.
but if you're cocky, trust me, that fellow with the 50,000 followers is going to get the job, because at the end of the day, it's human interaction.
That's true. That's true. I
Yeah,
mean, okay, I get your point. So I think that's humility is super important, lah.
humility will always take you places,
Yeah.
always.
So what's next, lah, for Prem?
For now, actually, what's next? Not many people know this, but maybe you'll be one of the first few. And now that we're going to put this out,
Mm.
well, my wife's dream is to actually migrate to another country,
Mm-hmm.
because she serves with the United Nations,
Oh,
and she wants to take herself up. So, for me, to be honest, the next step for me is to actually embrace living in another country. Migrating is the word.
can I ask you any countries in mind that you
Uh,
have shortlisted or are looking at?
yes. We have shortlisted a few countries,
Are you
but
allowed to say?
unfortunately, I'm not allowed to say,
Okay.
just because of the security and all.
No, I understand, but I
Yeah,
mean, for me, based on just family and all that, so
yeah,
I personally like Canada.
yeah. Okay, Canada is not part of it now.
Okay, see, you see what I did there.
I know what you did there.
New Zealand's very nice as well.
New Zealand is where we plan to retire, but no, it's not part of it as
Think that,
well.
yeah, and because I have a good friend, the guy who created my Jiggee logo is now a Malaysian who has become
A Kiwi.
a Kiwian. Yeah,
Oh wow!
yeah. We grew up in church together. He's my Anne, same birthday, left-hander as me. We shared the same birthday. Yeah.
How about that?
And Kampong Lindungan boy, squatter boy. He's gone very
That's
far. I'm
what's
so
up, lah.
proud of
That's
him.
what's
So
up.
proud
That's
of him.
what's up. Yeah,
I mean, talk about Malaysians who have done it. So, anyways, he
yeah.
lives in New Zealand now. I've got an open invitation to go, lah. Just
You
waiting
should.
for.
It's a beautiful place for them to
Yeah,
open the borders. Yeah.
now we can't go anywhere, lah.
But yeah, so that's
Interesting.
my plans, lah, bro. And well, if it does work out, in the next 6-7 years. So
Wow.
until then, I will be on radio if my radio still survives and I have my contract for sure.
Right.
Like I said, I want to die on radio. So I love radio. So even when I move countries, so maybe podcast, or maybe get into the local radio and help them create content.
Of course, of course. Even this, like what I'm doing, this whole podcasting, we're kind of 5 years late to the game, but it's been very positive to just see all that's been happening since MCO began. Malaysians have all been stepping up. I mean, you, of course, because you've got so much going on with radio, so you can't exactly sit down and, okay, I'm going to do. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but then you'd be pushing yourself beyond, right? And then
It's
your wife might,
tiring.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Your wife might throw you out in the balcony or something, like, you could be right. I mean, if you do eventually move, you could very well helm your own show,
Yeah.
because the experience that you have is so easy for you to curate content,
Yeah.
and customize it to where it should be and what it should be.
To produce as well. I mean, because I've been doing this so long, I know how to produce a show. What's needed to be part of the show, sound effects, lighting.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I could dabble in that industry, lah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna again put you a bit of a hot seat, but not really. We managed to dig up. Well, when I say me and my content producers behind the scene, I got some photos here, lah, just to see what was going on, and you're gonna have to just tell me what the hell was going on here, lah. So
It
this one's gonna be. This is my first memory of you, lah, day. This one. Yeah, so tell me all about this, lah. What the hell was going on here, lah?
See, remember when I started this the whole chat with you, I said that we were MCs.
That's right.
That's me in junior. Oh my god, it was one of the balls that we were emceeing. One of the help balls. One of the proms.
Bro, my first memory of you was this. This is the look you had.
The Tupac look.
The
West
Tupac
Side,
look.
West Side.
Yeah, it was you and the other fella Raymond lah from Sungai Long.
Yes, yes, the two Tupacs.
He
Yes,
was the first Tupac lah because
he
before
was.
you came on the scene, he was already in the scene.
He was. He was.
And he really had the correct shade lah, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this was you at the help ball, huh?
Yeah, look at that.
What year was
I was
this?
oh my god, I cannot remember, but I'm assuming 04, 05
Okay, so this is when it all began lah, so to
when it
speak.
all started. Yes, yes.
Okay, oh, I got another
I
epic.
think we were already on radio for that one. I think.
Okay,
Okay.
this one's quite epic. I quite like this one. What was it? What was the story here?
Oh, this was me just name dropping and showing off, Lamaja. So I don't know if you know this guy. He recently, I know you're into a bit of fitness as well. So this guy's name is Haftor Bjornsson. Well,
Okay.
we call him Thor.
Okay.
He also acts in Game of Thrones. I do not watch Game of Thrones. I don't know if you do.
No.
But he is known as the Mountain in Game of Thrones, one of the characters.
Okay.
So he had come down to Malaysia at this point.
Right.
For that point, very quietly, it happened. I don't know why there was not much promotion, but the world's strongest man competition happened in KL.
Whoa, what?
Yes. And this guy is one of the world's strongest men. He just broke a record 2 weeks ago, bro, for the world's heaviest deadlift. You know what a deadlift is, right?
Yeah, of course.
That's why I said fitness. 501 kilos.
Wow.
That's how much he lifted.
Are you still doing your fitness regime? Because I know for a while you were doing, everything.
F45.
Yeah, correct. And before that, you were doing what's the other one? CrossFit. That's correct.
Yeah. I started with CrossFit, then I stopped CrossFit. I got there was a lot of injuries that I went through, unfortunate. So I stopped CrossFit, then I joined F45. Yes, I'm still doing F45.
Okay.
But because now the gym's closed, but the guys have, everyone's evolved because of the MCO. So we have online classes now.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not wrong, the greatest ambassador is Mark Wahlberg, right, for F45?
Now, yes, recently joining. He just recently joined. I should be the ambassador for the idiot fella.
Oh, he is next level, day. Look at his shape,
He's correct, dude. But he just recently joined F45. F45 is an Australian thing. It's just recently gone to America.
I mean, I'm like, man, I would love to get to his age and be 10% of how he looks like, in physique,
That was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
So I still, now that we are in CMCO, so I just started going out again. So I cycle. So I just went for a 20-kilometer cycle yesterday, road bike and all that.
Okay. So what's your take on the show must go on, that whole phrase, the show must go on in showbiz? Have you ever been in a situation like that, and what's your take on that?
Funny you asked me that, Amaja. I just went through the hardest time of my life just 2 months ago. I don't know if I should talk about it. I'm just thinking if I should, whether it's still sensitive. But I took a cue from back then. What I heard, this is a story I heard, so I may be wrong telling the story, but what led me. So I'll tell you two stories. First one, do you remember back then when MASH was on Hits? What I heard is while MASH was on air, his dad passed away. He got the call, but MASH, being the good guy that he is, finished his show and went for his dad to settle and all. So for me, that was such great responsibility and passion. That's one definition of the show must go on. Recently, for me, what happened is we were on air. We were about to start the show at 5:58, 2 minutes before we went live. We were getting prepped. Our producers briefing us. Aisha gets the call. And I think you know what happens next. Of
course.
So Aisha's, God bless the late Ashraf Sinclair. She gets the call. And again, because this is such Aisha is very close to my heart. We're family. We're basically family. Aisha's family and I, we're very close. Ashraf and I are also, we're acquainted. I'm not as close to him as I am to Adam. But so 5:58, Aisha gets the call from her mom, and it's a shock moment. All of us are like, and I was just walking in. I'd gone to the toilet, so I'm walking back, and I see Rod comforting Aisha, and Aisha packing up the computer, and I'm like, "What's going on?" Rod just says to me, "You got to take her downstairs," and I'm like, "Okay." I go in there, and I'm like, "What happened, babe?" And she's like, My brother just passed. I'm like, what? Who? Which brother? And she
Mm.
says, Ashraf. I'm like, okay, calm down. And Aisha then, she can't believe it. I mean, imagine getting a call. Your brother's 41, 1 year, literally 1 year older than Aisha. You don't believe stuff like this.
Mm.
And she's like, I don't believe it. I'm like, okay, let's calm down. Let's wrap everything up. Let's go downstairs. Let's go downstairs. So I tell Rod, bro, don't go on air. Just play music. Continue playing music. We'll come back on air. I'll call the boss. I said no. I told Rod, call the boss.
Yep.
Tell the boss we're not going on air. We got to sort emergency out. So I go downstairs and I'm sitting with Aisha and I'm like, okay, um, so we sort everything out. And Aisha had to reconfirm whether it was true or was not true, because everyone's in a panic state. I mean, losing a family member is not easy, right? So yes, it was confirmed. Aisha then called her father, who was a lot more calmer, and he said, "Yes, unfortunately, this is the truth."
Mm.
So I then called Aisha's husband, because Aisha, again, she's not in a very good state. So I called the husband. I said, "Come pick Aisha up right now." So I send Aisha to the car, send them off, and we go up. Now, this is where it was very difficult for us, okay? By the time I got up, it was about 6:30, 6:40,
Yep.
and we could not tell the world what we had just gone through, because it's not our news to break.
Of course.
Yes, we know firsthand, but who am I to say that Ashraf has passed?
Yeah.
So from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, we were acting like nothing happened, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Me and
and
Rod.
Rod. Wow.
So the show must go on, right?
And no mention of why Aisha is not on the show.
No,
Nothing.
nothing. Just Rod and I, and we were laughing and talking like idiots. But
How did y'all cover the 45 minutes that y'all were not on air from
we
six?
just played music.
Okay.
Basically nothing happened. Just kept quiet about it. And then 6:45 we came on. Sometimes you have to act like nothing happens, and we just
So
carry on.
no listener picked up on that 45 minutes that y'all were technically not on air lah.
They would have, they might have, but we just kept
Nobody mentioned it.
nobody
Sure.
mentioned anything lah. But
Yeah. So did you pull through till the 10 a.m. and finish the
yeah,
show?
but after 8 o'clock, what had happened is we were checking the Indonesian news wires. We kept checking, refreshing, checking, refreshing, checking,
Mm.
refreshing.
Mm.
Boom! We saw the link come up, and it says manager of Ashraf Sinclair confirms he has passed away. At that point, I ring up my boss and I said, "Okay, Indonesian wires have already picked up. Can we break the news now?" My boss says, "What do you think Aisha would say?" I said, "I'm not sure. We can't get in touch with Aisha." So I text Aisha's husband. I said, "Bro, Indonesian wires have picked up already. Can we please break the news now?" He said, "I don't know, bro, but you know what? Just go for it. It's gonna break anyway." So at 8 o'clock, Rod and I completely changed everything. We toned it down. We said, "We are interrupting this broadcast." Um, and unfortunately, we've lost Ashraf Sinclair today. Lah.
Mm.
So yeah, bro, to answer your question, the show must go on. That was the most difficult 1.5 hours, because Rod and I, as much as we were so happy delivering normal news, laughing, talking, every time we switched off the mic, bro, we were shivering, because both of us are on our individual computers, bro. Have you got the news? Are you checking? Which wires are you checking, bro? Check Indonesia. I'm trying to type in Bahasa Indonesia and just trying to figure out what the hell is going on, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously we can't talk to Aisha. Aisha was on her way to the airport, and it was just I wouldn't say chaos, but it was just, it's like we lost someone.
Yeah. So I brought it up also knowing that you've definitely got an experience,
Mm-hmm.
but also to share with you something. And I told you this at the start. I said I've got a personal link to you without you realizing of what happened. And so 2 years ago, May 4th was a Friday night,
Okay.
2018. It was VE Hotel and Residences
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Okay.
Mata South, your father's company's annual dinner.
My
Did,
father's company
yeah,
had an annual dinner.
yeah, bro. And I was the MC.
Okay.
Did he mention that he saw me?
I think he did. He
Yeah,
always tells me.
yeah. So obviously, after that, I hugged him and took a photo and all that. But that day, my father passed away, bro.
Oh my god! I think I read this online.
No, I've never spoken about it. I've never talked about it. Nobody knows that I went on
Oh,
stage and performed as if like it's all good. All I said was, as a showman, I mentioned once the definition of the show must go on. I just said it that way, but I never
yeah.
mentioned it. I've never mentioned it anywhere on social media.
I read it somewhere that your dad passed. Maybe I
No,
got
no,
a
no,
message.
no. My sister, she went, and as usual, she's one of the women
Were you
being.
tagged? Were you tagged on it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, but I remember your dad passing. I do remember this clearly.
I never posted it, but yeah. So it was then that I asked myself how, because I was the last to see him, and then by the time I left the hospital and I woke up the next day, I found out that he left us in the night, and I did entire preparations during the day, but then by noon I was asking myself how, like I mean, my siblings had to come back from overseas, and I could only sort out funerals on Monday.
Yeah.
So which means I had the whole day to do all the prep. And my dad was 85. He lived a good life. Of course, yes, he left us old age and a few complications. But I thought to myself, like, how? I mean, how do you go and find a replacement MC on the same day?
On the same time, yeah.
I've met the clients, and everything. All the prep has been done, lah. I'm sure they would understand if I told them.
Yep.
But I guess this is where we're
Commitment. Commitment.
commitment, and we are showmen. I don't know, lah. This concept of being an entertainer, I guess we take it seriously,
We do. We do. We do take it seriously. You're right.
Uh, I just didn't have. I couldn't think. I didn't think it was right that I was just gonna drop it and let the client figure it out, let the event company figure it out. I Yeah, I told myself that at the end of the day, I've done what I could for my dad, and I'm still doing all the preparations. And I think he would have wanted me to at least be a man of my word, lah.
It. You know what, bro? Much respect to you. Honestly, that's. I would have done the same thing. Honestly, I would have,
Mm,
because I think at one point we are also the type of people that would rationalize,
mm.
God rest his soul, but what else can you do? You've done everything already. It's not like if you cut this show, he's going to come back alive. That's the reality and logical situation. So, like you said, one thing, your father would have loved you still being on stage, being the superstar that you are. And two, son, after I'm gone, now you're still continuing. So it's just
Yeah.
another day at work, it's business.
And initially I always asked myself, did I do the right thing? Until was it last year? When Joe Flizzo lost his father,
Yep,
and I know his father personally, Ishak,
yep, yep.
who's really a taiko in the MC scene, like the
MMC.
real godfather. Like, and
Absolutely.
I knew him personally. I worked with him a ton of time in this last decade, and I think at that point Joe was putting together 16 Bares, his concert.
Mm.
And I remember his father had passed, and he was in a conundrum like, does he pull the plug?
Or carry on.
And then I don't know if you remember, he posted this video,
Mm.
and he paid homage to his father, but it was so powerful what he said. And because I knew his father on a personal level, I'm like, you know what, dude, I don't know Joe personally, but I did comment. I said, I known your father, and knowing what you just said, I can rest assured that I can pretty much hear your father saying this, lah, because he said things along the things of, my father raised me right, he taught me to be a man of my words, boom, 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 boom. And I know that my father would have wanted me to see this through, because it was a representation of the whole rap scene, the hip hop culture of Malaysia,
Yeah,
and all of that. And the thing is, he had already done all that he needed to do to give his father all the final rights and everything. And this was
yeah.
like a couple of days later or something. And so when he said that, then I commented. I said, you know what, Joe? I mean, I don't know you personally, but I know your dad, and I honestly, I must say, I will agree that I think your father would have clearly said that and meant that. Principle lah. We're all in show
Mm.
business.
Mm.
Principles must come into play and all that. I mean, as you said. So yeah, lah. I mean, I never told anyone from after the event. I finally told the event company and the client lah. And I never spoke to your father about it lah. But
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
good on
not a
you.
wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
So I think other people in other lines of work, yes, you could probably step away. But I think
Abs- No,
show business, the
show must go
concept,
on.
the show must go on,
The
must
show
go on.
must go on.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was what I was wondering when the day will come that I will have a conversation with you about this. But how ironic that only recently you powered through, with your fellow brother and sister, because the three of you
Yeah,
are a family of your own.
yeah,
You've got,
yeah,
you've got your chemistry, you've got that going on. So I think you would have understood, like, because you did what you did. Nobody can tell. Your nature. You just have to go through. You go
yeah,
through the motion. You do what you do, and that's when you know that sometimes we were born to do what we were born to do.
yep,
You
yep.
know what I mean? as
Yep.
a professional or as somebody who takes pride in what they do.
Yep.
That's when I mean, so I think, yeah lah, so you have experienced it, I've experienced it, so we definitely know all about it. So I'm not going to take up your time. Is there anything you want to put out there? I mean, any plugs, anything you want to, I mean, there's nothing that you need to make mention of. Everybody pretty much knows where to find you, how to find you, but is there um anything you're doing on the side, anything you want to draw
No, bro,
attention
I
to?
don't want to plug anything. I just want to say, I mean, I know this video is going to come out during the MCO and the CMCO.
Yep.
What we can do,
Mm,
as people if who still have a job, for example, who
mm,
still have income, let's help the small businesses out there. What my wife and I have been doing ever since the start of the MCO is every week once we would buy from a small business. And when I mean small business, I don't mean a smaller KFC, no, or a smaller McDonald's. What I mean is a really small business, just to support them. So maybe that's what we can do as Malaysians. We support
yep.
each other.
Yep.
Uh, and yeah, support the really, really small fellas, not even the chains. And I don't know if I'm wrong saying this or right, but maybe not even the shops at the malls. But what I mean is restaurants,
Yep.
small fellas, help them. Let's survive, man. Let's get through this.
Awesome. I mean, I
Yeah.
think you've definitely said it right. And we know of personally one joker who's now a small business, Apus and Amoys, or Amoys and Apus, or,
There you go.
so,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess must pay homage to Apula since he is one who connected us anyways.
Absolutely. Shout out to Philip Varghese lah. Macam midnight. I love you.
Now send us your bloody food, okay? Tomorrow, two there, two here. Okay. Take it and go. All right. Well, folks, this is my man Prem on the Jiggee Jon show. He has kept it real. He has told us a story. He has just spoken from the heart, and that's what the show is all about. No holds barred. Nobody hides behind a veil of feigning to be somebody that they're not. And the whole purpose of this is so that you, our viewers and listeners, will take something away and hopefully be empowered to be all you can be and to always count your blessings and make it count. Thank you so much, Prem. Appreciate it. Stay safe. And I'll see you out there when life goes back to normalcy. Hashtag the new norm.
Then you know. Thank you, Macha. Thank you for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. God bless, brother.
God bless, brother.
Bye bye.